Hello everyone, I am back again with the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we did some investigating. We figured out the guy's maid is his wife. I don't know if that pertains to the case or not, but you know, we're gonna find out. So let's get right into the trial section. Maybe Sholmes will be here this time to watch us. Yep, we're back here again. It's only been, what, 2 days? Alright, we do need a lot of court experience. Maybe we'll someday have a trial back in Japan again. I am right. Why are you so chipper, Mr. Natsume? Really, bird catches the worm. I really don't want to catch a worm. I try not to wake up early. Oh no. Okay. Yes, thank you for believing in us, sir. And we believe in you. Oh, well, you're trembling pretty hard. Don't have to give me such a long name. Opening night of the opera. Oh, they're all here to see the Reaper. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks, is that right? Newspapers? He's on the front page! Why did he stop appearing in course for a while? Let's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. Trial Magnus McGilded. What an awful person he was. Good thing he's dead. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? He's after the Ripper. It's not even a murder. The person could still be alive. The knife and the invisible killer? Me? I like to think we're at least on favorable terms with the Reaper. Seeing as we made all the choices to continue the trial and find the truth, as opposed to getting the not guilty verdict and calling it a day. At least lucky lawyer alive. Yeah, you're the one who requested my services, you punk! I wonder if we're gonna have the same set of jurists this time. It'll probably be different, but we might have one or two the same. Potentially. Court is about to begin. Make your way to the courtroom at once. Okay. second appearance in a British courtroom and my second trial against the Reaper. Hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. This time I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. Except Mr. McGilded didn't deserve my trust. His shiftiness is what eventually got him burned at the omnibus. Promptly at 10 a.m. Oh, it is largely the same jurists. Upon the counsels of the prosecution and defense declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. Oh, he's got his cape on. Defense is ready, my lord. Hi, Benzeeks! Japanese are truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? Strongheart has told me all about you. You are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. You have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try and help the accused, I suppose. Typical Japanese arrogance. Ah, there's no arrogance going on here. Fascinating, if dark, trial it was. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate violent end. Hang on, wait a minute. Why is the maid on the What? They are different, but freaking Mrs. the wife is here. Oh, why are you here? What the heck? Is that the hat maker? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Oh my god. We've got Abe Lincoln from the last trial. We've got the freaking maid. Why are they grabbing witnesses from previous trials to serve on the jury? Accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. Our country's extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes. Regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the students accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. Knife crime? Telling from bitter experience, those are the worst! Bloody oaths they are! Look at that sallow complexion and short stature. He's definitely one of those dreadful Japanese. Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3! Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollowed chalice here in this great chamber. Even though I did it twice last trial, I will likely do it even more times this time. I'm going to call the first witness to the stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector. Hell yeah. He's going to be on our side partially. Oh, and he brought his chips. That's what they call him in Britain. Sir, Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Summarize the event of the case for the court, Inspector. The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon? Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since. What? Don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger. Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everybody, look at the street map. It happened where the big X is. 3 days ago, around 5 in the afternoon. Happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road. A wide thoroughfare with horse-drawn vehicles. How long since it stopped snowing as the victim was walking down the street? The blue she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Where's the bookshop? Do I know where the bookshop is? No, it doesn't say where the bookshop is located. But if the bookshop is somewhere like over here or down this way, then he would have been coming this way, and he couldn't have done it. Because she was going down this direction according to the man. And his place that he's stopping at is here. But we barely have any evidence as is. We just need to press everything and pray for the best. Unable to take a statement. This is a case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. What of the weapon that was used? Let me just take a quick peek at the case file. Olive green, female style builder, 20s, pavement, east side. Rolly beat, okay. Victim's unconscious, personal effects, other details is unknown. Single stab wound with a large knife, no other signs of injuries. Running away by the reporting officer and arrested the next day. Okay, got it. A switchblade. A blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. That's not looking good for our case. Common or garden jackknife, I would say, rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Alright, time to peek at the knife. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? Alright, let's take a quick peek here. What do we got? Well, you see, we have a little issue here. Why is there no tip? Oh, look here, look at the tip. All pieces of the blade appears to be missing. How can you stab someone with this? Okay, what else do we have? Looks like nothing on the inside, nothing on the outside. Okay. We already peeked at it, there's no tip. We can tell by looking at the woman's position, it seems she's a poor student herself. I like to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord. See, well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment? Afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting the second-hand bookshop, the defendant doesn't appear to get out much. Haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. Theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive. What reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? He arrested the men in spite of that. Totally unjustified and heavy-handed way. You had Sholmes do it without telling him about the... He just chucked the whole bottle! Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Japanese student. Yes, sir. Witness testimony. Said it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred. There's an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good and there was no one about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed onto the pavement. He ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. There's been a number of old books he'd just bought. He's on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. Just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. You mean Herlock found the bloke. Ah, photograph. photographic print as evidence. Japanese are spineless, too cowardly to admit defeat. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Knife appears to be the same. We can't read what's on the books. Eventually this magnifying glass is actually going to be useful for something. For now, it would appear this thing is absolutely useless, except for zooming in slightly on things. Aha. It's like they cleared the snow around her. Fascinating. Like everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, Bennett is not denying everything, as you put it. Do go on. Mr. Yatse has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right? Now you mention it. The visitor was in prison yesterday to tell us what all had happened. Walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out a sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, just as I went to overtake her. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. A green overcoat? That's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing. Oh my, a photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next? But that it does nothing more than admit he fled from the scene of a terrifying incident. This not means he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. There's nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there's nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. Fact that the accused concedes. Ugh. Seems this cross-examination could prove pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please. Alright. Use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Until he brings out the other two witnesses. Okay. $5 o'clock. Okay, don't have any issue with that. I think I know what I want to press first. Let's talk about the books! I apparently visits a second. Yes, so I understand. Shop full of old English literature. Commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. Books are stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector. Well, if I must. I have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. Closest second bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A place on the corner of Brer Road and Mearsham Street. It happens the accused is currently living in the lodging on the other side of Brer Road, the opposite end. It doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. What if he went to a different bookshop? Hold on. Bourbon Books. Is that the... No, he went to your books. I'm gonna have to object to you there, sir. Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop. I agree! Most important point the inspector just made being the bookshop's name. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe. Oh, you know, I mean, yes! It could be a very important clue! Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. Yes, sir, my lord, whatever you say. This man be any more sardonic? He's on his way home from Bourbon Books, a second-hand bookshop he apparently patronizes. Nah.
Objection!
That's wrong, buddy. If I could stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It's issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accused room, did ya? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. So it was issued from a bookshop called Your Books. Your Books? Y-O-R-E, I presume? Yes, my lord. Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at the second-hand bookshop. Or the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. Huh? What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would actually know about it. In fact, that is the bookshop with the defendant visited in the day in question. This receipt.
Objection!
Yes, but what difference it makes? If the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. I disagree. I mean, after all, where's the bookshop? And then I'd been returning from Bourbon Books. It would have gone straight down Briar Road. However, if we take into account the fact he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, very well turn out he wouldn't have passed that location at all. Could that be true? My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is. I do declare, it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir, what you just said? Absolutely, it could absolutely be right. Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. Right here, right side. You're on the next corner. Oh, man. Well, then he could still take the same path. Oh. I learned Japanese friend is obviously in training to be a clown with the way he regales us with such witticisms. How did you know? To your future career in the circus. I'm screenshotting this. I'm gonna send that to Smarky later. Put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you. I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. The accused was coming home from Your Books instead of Bourbon Books. There's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. Yes, thank you, Inspector. Why couldn't it have been further to the right? Let me to reiterate from my learned, somewhat slow Japanese friend. That's the second glass you shattered today, man! I suspect that you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try. Why are you a juror? What did I say? I've had enough of this now. Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that? Prosecution's assertion is correct. The members of the jury may well decide he's guilty. Must think. Must consider that assertion put forward very carefully. Saying he must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from Your Books, but... sure, we'll raise an objection. Why the hell not? Assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Yes, my lord. You see what I mean on this map. Turning from Your Books to his lodging, Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. He could have gone the other way. Then use these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked. Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that that road is what is commonly referred to as the long way around. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings, and is the obvious perpetrator of the crime. Yes, I got it. Obviously must ask the man himself. Ask him which route he took home. Well, he informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend all his time outside wanders aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. I don't believe this! I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around the subject. Pray, what say you, insightful jurors? But even if that is the case, then still hold it. What was his name again? Goodman? No. Members of the jury are completely convinced now. Forgot what that guy's name was. Hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
What? Woo-hoo-wee! That was the fastest 6 guilties in the world. Can we eject a juror? I can think of 2 jurors up there who could potentially have issues with this case in general. One of them with me, one of them with the defendant. Yep, let's sway the opinion of the jury. Those are the eyes of Quarry, not yet willing to give up and die. So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Right of the defense written into the antique British law that should have been buried long ago. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with the summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. All too familiar with that Japanese whippersnapper and his unkissed refusal to throw in his alley. Very well then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. I don't like you, and I don't like you. For pity's sake, that little Japanese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he? He said a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, while I can only have been the victim. The man would have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful! I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. Your books, yes. I shopped that at Urban Books. No, not worth a visit. What? How am I supposed to do anything with these? With only minor exceptions, the reason for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. The stabbing occurred. Only 2 people at the scene were the victim and the accused, and the 2 witnesses. And Jack the Ripper. Seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector the defendant fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. Why'd he have to run away like that? How are you supposed to believe in some phantom attacker nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Grumble, grumble. Grr. We gotta turn the tide. Hi, Cake! We gotta turn 4 of the jurors from guilty to not guilty, and at least one of them has a connection with the defendant. And one of them's a witness from the last case. Just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Whew. Hello, common folk. I'm here to change your opinion. Hopefully. So I can pit people's things against each other. I can press. I can't present evidence.
Hold it!
Why do you say that? Calabash Road. Actually went that way. Okay. No proof that shows he did. Also true, he doesn't know. Aha! Some logical reason why he might have gone that way. It'd be different. Okay, so we gotta talk to the elderly person about why he would have taken the other way home. Alright, Joan.
Hold it!
Why are you a juror? The wife of Mr. Garrett, that bunch landlord who rents his room. I'm the maid. Ah, fine. Why didn't you mention this yesterday, that you've been selected for the jury in this trial? Told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It's in the letter I see. The instructions were very clear. I'm afraid I had no choice. I see. Anyway, the defendant takes lodging in your master's house, does he? That's right, although he's only been a little over a week now. That time surely you must have taken stock of his character. Does he look like the kind of man who'd commit such a crime? Oh, goodness me, yes, he's just the sort. What? Spending all his time in that dark, dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. The man never speaks, don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something. Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm. Nothing more. Oh, you just called him a worm, so... There, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She's said enough damning things already. Got it. Don't touch the maid. I'm not gonna... I don't know if I need to talk to you yet. We're gonna talk to the old man.
Hold it!
What do you have against bourbon books? Sorry. Fold it, you say? Fold what? What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you say? Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. I'm kind of a witness. What time did you visit? Well, I was picking out the books all afternoon. It would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you say? See, same thing every day, including the day you're talking about. 4 or 5, exactly when the victim was attacked. Sure about the time? Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. Not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had. What do you mean? I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's the most slippery. I made myself clean out, I did. Really thought my number was up. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road? That's right, I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books. Jury number 6, I must insist. Did you add that information to your formal statement? God, he saw this guy slip, didn't he? Extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now. It shivers down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of his guilt. I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective. I agree, it's the relevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Some of their assertions don't actually incriminate him of anything. That's something. Yes, you're right. Let's listen to the jurors again. If any of their assertions are at odds, I'll pit them against each other. Don't hold back. Can I? No, it could have been him. It could have been the old man. Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2, juror number 6? My, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates on the day of the attack he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot. The man says he has no recollection of his return journey. That's correct, but he does remember seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are all well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously. Can we really be sure of that, madam? Ma, whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day? That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over in the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh my! My goodness, you mean... That's right, I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat who the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench with me here today? That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me. Sorry, you need to pee? Crucially, we know precisely where the old man in green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road! Therefore, the person Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was, in fact, juror number 6, means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. If that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my! This wasn't the direction I was expecting this to go. You idiot, old man! If you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed this off hours ago. And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat? What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the street these days, Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it? My lord, I hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but you'd like to change your leaning, I presume? I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty. Thank you. And I would too. Is it a crime to change your mind, is it? Well, Thank you, elderly man and southern British belle. Now, how do we convince 2 more people to switch sides? Well done, that was wonderful. Managed to change a couple of minds at least. Strengthened our position somewhat. Yes, prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stand. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if only we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. We might be able to tip the balance completely. Exactly what we've got to do. And Zeeks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have at his disposal. And he can't talk. Because we're doing the thing. Thank you, counsel. On with the summation examination, please. Can I pit you against? No, I can't pit, so I'm going to press you again. So I gotta press on one of the 2 people who don't really have anything to say here. Did we just prove? Okay, we don't want to talk to you.
Hold it!
Why are you in such a rush? Burly looking man? My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. Like if you wouldn't understand, a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't need it, neither do the wife and kids. Oh, I see. It must be very hard. Go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late in the work's taking, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. You have to cheap labor to get the roads dug up and fix it. It's hard slogs from dawn till dusk it is. So you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, I remember rightly, it's just around the corner from where it all happened, by that old bookshop it was. What? That's right. Meerschaum Street it was. Meerschaum Street. There's only 3 named streets. Fine, I need you to add that information to your formal statement. What's the point of that? Can't we just get this business over with? Please, sir, it's important. Fine, I'll do it then. The day it happened, I was digging up Meerschaum Street from dawn till dusk. I'm gonna pit you against this guy.
Objection!
You were digging up the street, he couldn't have walked home. At odds, counsel, explain yourself. Please don't point, it was me, I swear. What? I just want to get this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3? Oh, me, sir? Well, what do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implication of what's been said on the map of our local area. Wow, we've gotten 3 things already on this map. In the trial today, that's crazy. This just had 1 X. Their work being carried out on the street, making it impassable. The defendants are at home. Could not have taken him along Meerschaum Street down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? Must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way. So, the only conclusion is this. And then must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have. I suppose that might be right, eh? Here, number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But, we see now that he had no choice. Yes! My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may. Yes? I don't think in of good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. Thank you, juror number 3. Why are jurors number 1 and 4 have never flip-flopped their mind in one of these? It's always 1, 3, or no, 2, 3, 5, and 6 who switch. There's a hole in the prosecution's argument. It should be filled in. That's what I say. Thank you, burly gentlemen. Ball's in your court, Van Zeeks. Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The ayes 2, the noes 4. The noes have it. Not guilty, they say, which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
He's gonna smash the glass. Oh, he didn't chuck it behind him this time. Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hollow chalice moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust? Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeeks? Seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? Mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer, and by that I mean clown. Whatever do you mean? I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I said is the truth. Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement. That's right, it took me the whole day. They paid me a measly tuppence for it. Now, my little Japanese friend, tell me, you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents? Well, no. 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Less than 2 meters, that's much at all. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? Huh? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no. What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? Huh? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have open passing anyways. We can just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. Accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, they could spring over a 2-yard trench. It is meanderings about town. Ah! Is that true, is it? The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodging, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road. Crushed in a single sentence. An old man. Cold man! You can talk! At around 5 o'clock of the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Japanese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say I remember. You expect an old man to turn around while he's walking down the street and remember everyone behind him? About a wager, my learned friend. You say it was this old man that the accused saw? I wouldn't lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Come on, we just flipped the people. Van Zeeks, explain yourself. My lord, if you had such tensioned argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination? Wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for, to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. My hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. He's tossed his cape. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. You heard him. Sightseeing tour over. Everybody go home. What are you talking about? My lord. Prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand. Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses. Its next witnesses? We've been told on several occasions there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Yes, I remember one of them being a Scotland Yard policeman. It's likely to be the prosecution's next witness. Alright, either who Van Zeeks brings to the stand as his witness? No matter what they say, I believe in Soseki. He's innocent. I'll keep believing that till the very end, until the battle is over.